A new online farm management course offered by the Ohio State University College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences will help Ohio's beginning farmers qualify for the requirements of the Ohio Department of Agriculture's Beginning Farmer Tax Credit Program, all part of House Bill 95 that was passed and signed into law back in 2022, heavily advocated for by members of Ohio Farm Bureau. The course is called Farm On, and to tell us more about it is Eric Rieker, assistant professor and OSU Extension field specialist in farm management. Eric, great to see you.
Hey, great to see you this morning too, Ty. Thanks for the opportunity to be on your podcast.
Brand new course, a lot to cover. Tell us about Farm On and what it's all about.
Well, Farm On is one of the four approaches that Ohio State University College of Food, Ag, Environmental Sciences has for meeting the needs of Ohio's beginning farmers and ranchers through House Bill 95. It's the one option that I'm leading, and so I'll talk the most about it. We have two or three other options, both 2 undergrad classes and then a small farms college. But Farm On was designed to meet the needs of beginning, or I'll say busy farmers and ranchers, and so it's an on-demand, self-paced course that farmers can sign up for. And when I say farmers, I mean anticipated farmers or seeking to be farmers, and then those farmers who maybe have been farming for a little bit and want to brush up their skills for farm accounting, farm and risk tax management issues, but also to meet these two really big carrots that are out there. One of them, House Bill 95, but also the borrower training requirements for USDA's Beginning Farmer Rancher Loan Program.
One of the questions I get asked all the time about this program and this tax credit is, how do you define a beginning farmer? So I know there's actually parameters out there because of House Bill 95 that set that definition pretty straight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's disclosed in the language of the bill, but ODA has it posted, and we agree with them that it's for their purpose for House Bill 95. It's a farmer that's seeking to entry into production agriculture, into farming, or a farmer who's been farming for 10 years or less. There's some other language in those requirements, less than $800,000 of beginning net worth, or of net worth, excuse me. And then that they're also a resident of Ohio, and they are farming or seeking to lease assets or purchase assets that are in Ohio. So that's the long and short of it. It's slightly different for USDA, but generally the same.
When someone wants to get into agriculture, they think about being out in the field and working with animals and all the great things that farmers do across the state. But there is that business aspect of getting a farm started, right? And that's where Farm On comes in, and you help these beginning farmers understand the business aspect of it. What are some of the things they learned through this Farm On course?
So yeah, that's a great question, Ty. When we were thinking about naming the course, you're exactly right. We all like to be down in the weeds, operating, being out in the field, doing agronomy, doing animal husbandry and livestock. But the reality is, in order for a generation to farm on or to carry on their farm's legacy into another generation, there's just a tremendous amount of business acumen that a farmer has to have these days. The course is set up with 10 modules, and it kind of starts with farm business planning, setting some goals, going through some SWOT analyses, and kind of setting whether it's a written or thought of farm mission, kind of the direction you want to head. And then we dive deeper into some of the farm financial accounting documents, a module on balance sheets, accrual adjusted income statements, cash flow projections. And we have a great team, including Barry Ward talks about cost of production. Our legal and risk team with Peggy Hall and Robert Moore kind of go into some of those risk management modules. And we talk about financing the farm and some alternative financing methods, including both the USDA program and ODA's Beginning Farmer Tax Program. We cap off the course kind of with this holistic put your farm business plan together and do some case studies on farm business analysis, some stress test, if you will, if we want to purchase a new asset. And all that's done with case studies Some of the exercises are very specific to a farm because we know that the USDA Beginning Farmer Rancher Loan Program and Ohio House Bill 95 require some documents to be pulled together by a new and beginning farmer. So the hope was that the Farm On course was extremely convenient, but also extremely practical in that it helps an individual just when they're done with it, they have their balance sheet, they have a cost of production estimate, and some of those things are required to present to those to USDA and ODA.
You mentioned that balance between making it worth taking, but also making it convenient. I mean, farmers are busy. Beginning farmers are even busier. They're trying to start up a business and get things to where they're going to be sustainable for years to come. So I guess the question comes that once someone enrolls, is there a deadline to complete the course, and how long does it take to complete the course once you get started? What are those types of answers?
Excellent question that we receive as well. And so again, we wanted it to be convenient. So it's you sign up for the course through Ohio State's Scarlet Canvas platform, their Scarlet Canvas delivery system, and everything is virtual, on demand, and self-paced. So if you want to knock out 2 modules tonight after work, do so. If it's going to take, you're going to do 1 module each weekend from here until you're completed, that's your decision. We do give a backstop of 180 days. So once you enroll in the course, we seek to have each of the enrollees complete the course in 180 days. And we think that's helpful to not only me as the instructor of the course, but also to keep the new and young farmers kind of on target and on course to complete it. So that's our plan for delivery of the course.
It's important to have some skin in the game for these beginning farmers. So there is an upfront cost, but there's a chance to recoup that cost once the course is complete.
Absolutely. So the cost of our course is competitive with a couple others that are being offered. $300 per individual that's seeking to get the certificate or complete the borrower training requirements for USDA. In the case of Ohio's House Bill 95 and Beginning Farmer Tax Credit Program, that $300 is recouped dollar for dollar in a tax credit. And so that's really awesome for all of the organizations that provided testimony. They knew what they were doing in creating support for this legislation and helping those young farmers recoup those dollars that they spend on the course.
So that's one of the things that happens after completion. What else is going to happen once a beginning farmer completes this course?
So they'll get a certificate from me or through the Scarlet Canvas course once they complete the 10 modules in the business plan, quizzes, and things that are required of a course, right? On the beginning farmer program with the ODA, they will need to complete an ODA form that has their certificate, completes some of those net worth, and submits their balance sheet, and it's official paperwork on ODA's side. And then ODA, my understanding is, will submit that information or that form, if you will, to the Department of Taxation that will acknowledge that beginning farmer is to receive in the case of Farm On, a $300 tax credit beginning in income tax year 2023.
Wouldn't pass a bill like this if there wasn't demand for a program like this. And you obviously expect there at Ohio State to see quite a few people come through this course over the next few months.
Yes, absolutely. We were hustling once we found out our course and our approach was approved by ODA. We put together this course in a matter of a couple months, and as the official press release went out on April 5th, and we have 10, I just checked this morning, had office hours this morning, we had 10 signed up for the course. And so we're trying to keep those folks on the straight and narrow to get it completed. Perhaps some of them will knock it out before Mother Nature allows us to get back in the fields to plant.
We'll add to that number by putting the link to this Farm On course sign up on this podcast page and, of course, on ohiofarmbureau.org as well. Eric Rieker, assistant professor and OSU Extension field specialist in farm management, heading up the Farm On course for beginning farmers across Ohio. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thanks, Ty.
Find out how Nationwide Agribusiness can help you grow your business. Get to know the people with the experience and knowledge to help you. Whether you are looking to protect your farm or ranch from the ground up, or need someone who understands your changing commercial ag needs. Find out how to better manage the risks of your ag business, or how quickly you can get back to business. Learn how you can protect your next with Nationwide on your side.
Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins, proud to have on the podcast this week the latest recipient of the President's Award from the U.S. Trotting Association, Renee Mancino, Executive Director of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association. Renee, good to see you. Congratulations on that award. USTA held their annual meeting right here in Columbus and surprised you with a nice little plaque, didn't they?
Yes, it's always great to be on with you, Ty. I love having the chance to catch up and talk harness racing, and I appreciate the shout out for the President's Award. It was a shock. Let's say that it was a shock. It was unfortunate. I was out of town with my daughter at the time the luncheon was going on, so I did miss. I did a nice video recording for them though, but yeah, I guess it's the highest level award that they give for people that are participants in harness racing, regardless of capacity. So I was pretty honored by Mr. Russell Williams Nod. He's the president of the United States Trotting Association, which obviously is located right here in Ohio, in Westerville, Ohio. So yeah, it was just awesome. So thanks again.
Well, I've talked about your career in this industry, and I know that you don't see this as work. You really take joy in the job you do and the people you work with. And so these kind of things are kind of icing on the cake, aren't they?
They are. I'm also not one that is much for awards. I'm like, sometimes you see in an industry, and I'm not specifically this one, but sometimes you see in an industry, the same people just win award after award after award because they're exceptional people. But, generally speaking, you generally have a pretty small pool of applicants, so to speak, to pick from in any one industry, no matter what the industry is. Those people that love to be out trying to get things done. That's me. I'm not looking for awards. I'm looking to try and change the narrative and change the landscape for the better for horse racing. And, that's something that I enjoy and something that I do all the time.
Getting into spring, things are warming up. Farmers, of course, getting into the field, but it also means we're getting ever so close to fair season coming up. What do we have planned as far as OHHA is concerned?
Well, as is typical, we have a pretty full slate of live stream broadcasts from the 65 county fairs that race here in Ohio, and we typically do 128 live racing days throughout the state. Excuse me, the average impression engagement sort of realm statistics on that, we usually get 800,000 to 1 million impressions with an extensive period of time on engagements for those. So that's been really a very interesting and successful endeavor. And we tailor our broadcasts of those 128 live racing cards to entertainment. So we do interesting stories for the county, historically speaking, the county fair, the county fairgrounds, anything of note that we can dig up with our team of researchers, we like to put on the broadcast. It's not really about wagering. It's about the fun and excitement of harness racing. So we're really just looking forward to, everything that kicks off from June to October here in Ohio at the 65 county and independent fairs that do race here in Ohio.
It's amazing how those county fairs connect our organizations, Ohio Farm Bureau and the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association. And together as organizations, we have a lot of similar successes and a lot of similar challenges. And one of those that I think that we see particularly in agriculture is creating a workforce and retaining a workforce. In your industry, are you seeing those challenges as well?
Yeah, we're seeing the same challenges that any other ag industry is seeing, specifically in the veterinarian realm with veterinarians for large animals. It's no different for equine versus any other large animal sector of the ag industry. We have a couple of initiatives actually in regards to veterinarians in Ohio that we're hoping will help us ease that burden a little bit, where we can try and use some of the emergent things in regards to veterinarians, similar to the human realm, where you have the virtual physician. We're starting to see more of a push for virtual physicians in the veterinarian side, and we're looking to mobilize vet techs and veterinary assistants, pursuant to the terms of their licensure and what the state code permits, under the guidance and the direct supervision of a virtual veterinarian. So we're trying to come up with some new avenues of utilization for what is quite an underserved market for large animal veterinarians here well, actually any state. I was going to say here in Ohio, but in any state.
How important is it to reach young people? I know you guys have a field day every year at Ohio State's ATI up in Worcester, just to plant that seed, right, and get them interested in those types of careers. Very important part of building that workforce for the future.
Yeah, we do a lot of outreach and promotion, both with the outreach team that we have here, and we do it with OSU Ag Tech Institute. We do it with OSU 4-H Extension. Obviously, we do a lot of stuff in partnership with the programs that, the Farm Bureau has, like Explore Ag and the young ag professionals and things like that. So we try to do what we can to reach out to the youth. And as with the shortage on the employment side, one of the pivotal things for any industry, especially the ag industry, is to try and reach youth and engage them, because, much the same way that horse racing is an outside, endeavor. You're always in the elements. You're more physical with what it is that you're doing, and it's the same in any ag-based endeavor. And you're going to look for or try to find someone that has the skill set that can be, mentored, so that they can develop the actual experience and the high level skills that someone needs. But you need that person that has that basic desire and that basic interest in being out instead of being in an office or a cubicle, and in nature and all of that. So yeah, it's super important to try and get to youth and the young people when they're just starting to think about, gosh, do I want to go the professional route? Do I want to be in a cubicle all day? Would I like to be outside working, with the land, on the land, with animals, so that's the best time to get them. They're also energetic and young and just looking to make a difference in the world, especially this generation coming up. It's so absolutely, I don't say altruistic, because they just are so hopeful that they can do what it needs to be done to change everything in the entire, not just world, but this generation's looking to change things in the universe. So
For sure. Yeah. It's great to have you guys as a partner as we talk about Explore Ag camps and young ag professionals and all the other ways that we've partnered throughout the year. Renee Mancino is the executive director of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association. Appreciate seeing you again. And I'm sure I'll see you either at a county fair or at El Dorado Cider Down sometimes this summer.
I'm sure I will see you as well. Thank you very much, Todd.